The story begins in the freezing Norse wilderness, far from the warmth of Greece. Kratos, a man burying a lifetime of bloodshed, is completing his wife's dying request. He strikes the wood of a magically marked tree, gathering logs for her funeral pyre. He is carrying two massive secrets. First, he is a Greek god who slaughtered his own pantheon. Second, his young son Atreus is also a god, living entirely unaware of his true bloodline. Kratos' attempt to lay his wife to rest strips away their safety. Felling that specific tree breaks a magical ward that had hidden them from the Norse gods. Almost immediately, an unkillable deity named Balder arrives at their doorstep, looking for a fight. Their home is compromised. Father and son are forced to flee into a hostile realm, beginning a long journey to scatter Faye's ashes from the highest peak in all the land. But the external threats are secondary to what is happening inside the boy. This diagram illustrates Atreus' condition. Whenever he experiences intense anger, a severe illness flares up, physically fracturing him through building internal pressure. The illness is a symptom of Kratos' deception. Because Atreus believes he is a frail mortal, his mind is in active, violent conflict with his own inherited godly power. The boy is tearing himself apart trying to suppress a nature he doesn't know he has. As they travel toward the mountain, they cross paths with the ruling Norse pantheon. They encounter a family structure built on betrayal, violence, and absent parents. Kratos chose secrecy to protect his son from the horrors of godhood. Yet, observing the broken world around them, it becomes clear that his silence is the exact mechanism actively killing Atreus. The situation escalates during an ambush by the sons of Thor. The intense stress triggers a massive surge of Spartan rage in Atreus. His mortal mind cannot process the sudden godly power, and he collapses into a deathly coma. To save him, Kratos must retrieve a cure from the frozen underworld of Helheim. His frost-imbued Leviathan axe is completely useless against the icy dead. He has no choice but to unearth what he buried. He retrieves the blades of chaos, binding the burning chains tightly to his arms, physically reshackling himself to the Greek bloodshed he spent decades running from. He fights his way through Helheim, enduring psychological torture. The realm projects illusions of Zeus, his father, forcing him to face his darkest sins before he finally secures the required cure. Returning to the realm of the living, Kratos administers the remedy. Realizing the physical toll of his lies, he finally confesses the truth. They are immortals. The moment the fear of mortality is lifted, Atreus' personality warps. The quiet, obedient boy instantly becomes cruel, arrogant, and highly combative, treating everyone around him as inferior. This culminates after another battle. Facing a wounded, completely defenseless enemy, Atreus drives a knife into his neck and kicks him off a cliff, executing him in cold blood. Kratos' worst fears are realized. Telling the truth successfully cues the boy's physical body, but the sudden injection of godly superiority has infected his soul. Atreus' newfound hubris quickly compromises their mission. A reckless decision during a fight destroys their portal, and father and son plunge downward, falling straight back into the icy depths of Helheim. Trapped together in the underworld, the realm's illusions force them to watch a memory play out. They witness the tragic origin story of their primary enemy, Balder, and the Witch of the Woods, Freya. This flowchart maps the Norse god's dysfunction. Balder's inability to feel sensation was a curse of invulnerability forced by Freya's extreme overprotection. Driven insane by numbness, Balder despised his mother, trapping them in an inescapable loop where her protection fueled his violent hatred. Watching this broken family tear itself apart from the outside serves as a stark mirror. Atreus recognizes his own recent cruelty reflected in Balder's rage, and the arrogance begins to drain out of him. Freya meant to save her son, but by stripping away his physical autonomy, she destroyed his mind. Kratos and Atreus see the pattern clearly. They must acknowledge each other's agency, or they will suffer the exact same fate. Father and son emerge from Helheim unified. Operating in perfect synchronization, a humbled Atreus and a focused Kratos intercept Balder for a final, decisive battle. During the clash, a mistletoe arrow belonging to Atreus scrapes Balder's hand. It is the one material capable of breaking Freya's magic, and instantly the century-long invulnerability curse shatters. For the first time in his life, Balder feels pain. The sensation drives him into a frenzy, and he turns his full, murderous attention toward Freya, determined to commit matricide as revenge for his torment. Kratos intercepts the god. Refusing to let another child murder their parent, he grabs Balder and swiftly snaps his neck. He actively chooses to intervene, forcing a brutal end to this generational cycle of violence. Freya is devastated by the loss of her son. She swears eternal, bloody vengeance against Kratos. Breaking the cycle spared Atreus from witnessing matricide, but it earned them the wrath of a powerful goddess. The battle is over. Kratos and Atreus finally cross into the realm of Jotunheim. They reach the highest peak, stepping out into a silent wasteland littered with the corpses of ancient giants. Inside a mountaintop temple, they find a series of enormous murals that reveal the truth about Faye. She was not a mortal woman, she was a giant. This makes Atreus part god and part giant. This branching timeline shows the true scale of their journey. The murals depict every supposed accident and hard-fought victory, including Balder's death, funneling into a single endpoint. The entire quest was preordained by giant prophecy. The final panel leaves them with two massive realities. The giants know Atreus by a different name, Loki. And by killing Balder, Kratos has inadvertently triggered Fimbulwinter, the 3-year freeze that precedes the Norse apocalypse. They climb to the summit and scatter the ashes, fulfilling Faye's dying wish. Kratos and Atreus successfully broke the toxic cycle threatening their own family, only to unknowingly set the end of the entire Norse world into motion.